Seattle Seahawks left tackle Charles Cross had a phenomenal game against the Denver Broncos, the very first game of his third season. The season that if you're a good tackle, you usually take off, and damn did Charles Cross impress me. The physicality this guy played with, the technique, everything looks incredible. I'm very excited for this film breakdown. I want to go ahead and start right away and look at Charles Cross's run blocking first and foremost. I want to show you guys about 5 or 6 snaps where this guy was crushing people, man. The way this guy was able to get in front of guys, the way this guy was able to double and climb, the way he was cutting people off, and then just the physicality that he played with was absolutely beautiful. I want to show you guys his first snap right here because on this play here, you're going to get a zone run towards the right. And what that means is Charles Cross has a cutoff block on the defensive tackle. Cross has to be able to get in front of number 99. Number 99 here is playing the long 3 technique, and essentially he has to contain the B gap. And with that, Cross also has the responsibility of cutting him off. So these guys essentially are going to fight to overtake that one gap. And Cross does a really good job getting out of his stance. Very explosive first step. He times it perfectly, and he gets right in front of number 99. Now, the running back doesn't actually cut this back towards the inside, but if the running back wanted to cut this, because the cutoff block right here by Cross, the running back could have theoretically kicked it back towards the inside, but it made sense. You saw the gap kind of developing right there. The play does pick up about 5 yards, so it's a good job nonetheless. But I do want to just show you guys really quickly how fast and explosive this guy was out of his stance. We're going to slow this down, and you guys can really see how explosive he is. Essentially, the left guard, center, right tackle all kind of are the first ones to move. It's really the left tackle and center. And you see Cross gets out of there so fast that he has to put his right hand on the left guard, not to run into him or potentially trip him. That's incredible right there, man. Really, really good job by Cross. But he had a lot of physical run blocks as well. Starting with this first one here. Watch how Charles Cross is going to climb up to the second level. As he makes contact with the linebacker, he's going to take this linebacker and bury him. This one right here goes for a 23-yard touchdown. Cross's guy was never going to make the play. He was the backside linebacker. But the fact that Cross is able to get in front of him, he takes a perfect angle out of his stance. He knows exactly where to set up. He's even going to be able to flip the hips. But just a beautiful overall job as he kind of makes contact with this guy. And when the linebacker tries to get off the block, the linebacker is going to try to take that right arm. The linebacker is going to try to take his right arm, and he's going to try to go over the top of Cross right there. He's trying to swim over the block in the potential hopes that if the running back cuts it back, he'll be able to potentially make a play on the football. But as soon as he lifts that hand up, Cross buries him. Just a beautiful, beautiful rep by a really good left tackle. And we'll get into Cross's pass blocking a little bit later on. There's a couple more run plays I want to show you guys where Cross did a really good job. On this one here, you're going to get a zone run. This time, Cross is the front side guy, and he's going to once again do a good job being able to cut the linebacker off. And once again, he's going to put this linebacker down. This play picks up about 5 yards, but you guys can see how nice of an angle Cross takes out of his stance. He puts his right hand on that 3 technique. He makes sure the left guard is able to overtake that. He's going to put his eyes onto the second level defender. He's going to make contact with him. And as he makes contact, he makes sure that he flips the hips and he gives the running back the lane to the outside. That's a really good job right there by Cross. Great double and climb. Phenomenal footwork to be able to get up there. Seals his guy off. Allows his running back to have that lane to pick up about 5 yards. You're actually going to get a loss of 4 yards on this play towards the right. Has nothing to do with Cross, but Cross does bury another guy. Again, this guy was playing physical, man. Charles Cross looks so much more comfortable to me than he looked last year. You know, a lot of Seahawks fans felt like Cross took a step back last year. And in this game here specifically, man, he was getting after it. He was being physical. He was being strong and tough. And he was just playing with a nasty mean streak that I felt like we didn't really see Cross play with last year. Now, this offseason, I had heard that Charles Cross was really putting the effort in to improve his play. And he had fully bought in. And you can definitely see that actually translating to the football field. Now I want to switch focus. I want to get into his pass blocking a little bit. So in total, Cross played a total of 70 snaps. And of those, he had 34 in pass pro. And he gave up no sacks, no pressures, no hits. But more than that, the guy actually showed really, really good technique. I felt like Charles Cross showed the technique that we hadn't really seen from him this past season. And he was doing a really good job anchoring down. Again, he had struggled to anchor down last year. I felt like one of the things Cross wasn't doing was he wasn't allowing his quarterback to feel clean. He wasn't from the left side, keeping that pocket from collapsing. But he's doing a good job with how he makes contact with guys, and he did a good job at least against the Broncos to be a bit anchored down. You can see how he kind of gets those hands into this defensive lineman, and then you can see how he kind of anchors. I will say this, this is just one game. We got to see this guy actually continue this over the next couple of weeks as well. But you could definitely see that this guy was doing a little bit of a better job anchoring down. He was making contact with guys. He was trying to drop the anchor on this one. He does slip a little bit. But overall, on pass pro, the guy was really, really good. Now, do keep in mind the Denver Broncos are a natural 3-4 front. So what that means is the defensive ends for the Denver Broncos, or the edge defenders, are essentially going to be outside linebackers. So usually those guys are going to be a little bit smaller than, a team that might have a defensive end that's on the bigger side, right? A 4-3 type team might have defensive ends that are like Cameron Jordan, maybe a guy like Myles Garrett, who's, in the upwards of 270 plus pounds. But Cross has definitely shown improvements, and I'm excited to watch this guy as we kind of continue going forward. I just want to show you guys a couple more plays in pass pro. So on this one here, the defensive end is going to try to spin to the inside on Cross, and Cross does a good job sticking with it. On this one here, the defensive end is going to try to spin to the inside, and Cross does a good job just sticking with it. He's going to do a good job with the footwork, stays right in front of it. And the quarterback is kept clean on this one, 3rd and 2, and delivers a 19-yard pass. So another thing I noticed with Cross this season was he was utilizing independent hands a little bit more. I definitely think as an offensive tackle, the primary way to win is going to be to use one hand at a time, or at least initially when you lock in with the guy, to just really flash one hand. You want to keep that second hand free in case you need a counter. So on this one here, you're going to see the defensive end's going to hesitate. And the defensive end's going to try an outside move. He's also going to end up chopping Cross's hand. Cross does do a good job only putting that left hand out there. And as his hand gets chopped, it doesn't really matter because he's using only one hand at a time. And then you can see that both hands are going to end up coming right back to the defensive end. And he's going to do a good job just pushing this defensive end upfield. The quarterback's able to step up, and the quarterback's going to deliver a 17-yard pass to Tyler Lockett. You got another one once again. He's going to use independent hands. He's also going to handle the spin move by number 52. Just a really, really good snap here once again by Cross. Again, the one thing I'm going to have to watch this guy over the course of this season is how does he handle power, right? That'll be his biggest issue as we kind of watch this guy develop, because that was the one thing he struggled with last year. But he does look quicker. He looks much more fine-tuned in his technique. You see him do a good job with the hand placement. He isn't leaning. He has a slight lean last year. Maybe he leans a little bit, but it's definitely not as noticeable as it was last year. And he does a good job with the footwork. He does a good job being able to stay in front of guys, mirror guys, and make sure they're not able to get to the quarterback. Overall, Cross looked a lot better to me, but I want to know what you guys think. Did you guys think Charles Cross looked better? Did you guys think the Seattle Seahawks offensive line looked better? Obviously, there were a lot of different changes that have kind of happened with the Seattle Seahawks. You also had a change at right tackle, and it's going to be interesting, You obviously had a couple of changes on the offensive line, but it'll be interesting to see how the line kind of continues to get healthy, how it might change over the course of the next couple of weeks. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time with another video.